All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on this very hot evening. It is approximately 5:39, and welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority regular meeting agenda for Wednesday, September 4th, 2019. Roll call, please.
Mayor Hodge,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Romero,
Here.
Councilmember Arriola Fernandez,
Here.
Councilmember Risen,
Here.
Councilmember Pacheco.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you very much. And following the order, we have any public comments for closed session?
No, sir.
No, sir. Then we will, no, ma'am. We will skip that. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, you know how this goes. It's time to adjourn for closed session. So this part is closed. We will be back very shortly. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority regular meeting agenda for Wednesday, September 4th, 2019. And we are starting approximately 6:46. Apologize, I was hoping we'd get out here on time, but there were lots of things to cover in closed session. And on that note, City Attorney, or am I ahead of the game? Do we need to take roll call? Roll call first, okay. City Clerk?
Mayor Hodge,
Here?
Mayor Pro Tem Romero,
Here.
Councilmember Arriola Fernandez,
Here.
Councilmember Risen, Councilmember Pacheco.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Okay, very good. I see what we need to do. Please stand, ladies and gentlemen, for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll keep it consistent. Mr. Miguel Figueroa, would you mind leading us?
Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
And the mission statement, Mr. Dale?
Together, we pledge to provide effective and efficient services in a courteous and respectful manner to improve the quality of life for all in our unique border community. Viva Calexico!
Please continue to stand, the invocation, and Councilman Romero will be kind enough to do that.
We're going to just bow our heads real quick. Dear Lord, we just want to thank you for this day today. We want to thank you for everybody that is here, dear Lord, and we just ask you for your guidance in all the decisions being able to be made today, and that they are be able to serve you, Lord, and serve our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You can be seated. All right. Do I have a motion for the approval of the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Mr.
Okay.
Mayor, if I could interject, we have two items we'd like to pull from the
Yes,
agenda.
okay, you want me to announce that now?
Yes, if we
I'll
could.
be happy to. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to remove two items from our agenda tonight, and those items are number 14 and 22. Those will be removed. Okay. All right, so I heard a motion and a second. All those in favor on the agenda? Aye.
We have to redo that all over again with the specifications, Mr. Mayor? Yeah.
We have to do it all over again. So
So,
thank you very much. These people are keeping me on a tight ship. I love it. Okay, we have to do it over again. So with those items omitted, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, second, and very good. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, it is approved unanimously with items 14 and 22 removed. All right, announcements, please.
These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website at www.calexico.ca.gov the Friday following the City Council meeting. Mayor Hodge will have community office hours to hear the concerns of the citizens the fourth Tuesday of the month from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at City Hall in the City Manager's Conference Room, 608 Heber Avenue, Calexico.
Very good, thank you. We have some presentations this evening. We first have a proclamation memorializing Mrs. Esperanza Hope Gomez. I will begin with the proclamation. Whereas the passing of Mrs. Esperanza Hope Gomez on March 27th, 2019 has brought immense sorrow and loss to people throughout the community, and
Whereas the Calexico City Council believes that it is important that we honor and acknowledge those people who compassionately contribute to the betterment of our community, and whereas Mrs. Gomez was born in the state of Michoacán, Mexico on August 1st, 1918, came to live in the United States at an early age, married Reynaldo Gomez Sr., and gave birth to 3 children, Elizabeth, Virginia, and Reggie Gomez. And
Whereas Mrs. Gomez was a distinguished Calexico resident who generously gave her time and was influential in the recruitment of participations for seniors, activities which encourage health, wellness, happiness, such as bailes floricos and senior lunches. And whereas Mrs. Gomez worked for the Cres and the Crecito stores in the downtown for 40 years. And
Whereas Mrs. Gomez was recognized as a pioneer citizen by the
you have to
City
inject
Council on April 11, 2005 during the Calexico 35th anniversary celebration, and
Whereas her passion and zeal for life allowed her to live to the age of 99 years old, earning her respect and admiration from her family, friends, and community.
now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Calexico hereby expresses its deepest sympathy at the passing of Mrs. Esperanza Hope Gomez, and by this proclamation memorialize her and her selfless service to the City of Calexico and its constituents. In witness whereof, I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on this 4th day of September 2019. Do we have someone to receive this? Oh, now I've got the connection. Okay. Sorry. All right. Yeah. Very sorry for your loss.
really quick, I just want to say thank you very much. On behalf of her 3 children, her 10 grandchildren, and her 23 great-grandchildren.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Gomez, God bless her, was 99 years old. Okay, we have another presentation, badge presentation by Chief Geraldo to Mrs. Myra Soto, Parking Enforcement Officer. Take it, Chief.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, honorable council members, and honorable mayor. I'm here to present Myra Soto with the badge that she probably wore as a traffic enforcement officer for the city of Calexico for 19 years. She moved on to be a court enforcement officer now, And I don't know if they're going to get her a badge, but she wore this one for 19 years, endured very hot summers and very cold winters, and she was able to continue doing her job for 19 years. A very good employee of the police department, and a very good employee of the city of Calexico. So Myra, we at the police department put this, your badge number 591, and it says Calexico Police Department, Myra Soto, Park and Enforcement Officer 2000 of 2019. And we were presented to her today. Actually stands up so you can put it on your desk, or you can hang it on your wall. So can you please step up?
Photo? No photo?
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations, Myra.
Congratulations, Myra.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
if you'd allow me to report.
Yes, I am so sorry. Go ahead, sir. City
Just want to
Attorney?
report out from closed session. We've been in closed session on the items described on this evening's agenda. We took no reportable actions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we come to public comments and public appearances. I'll have our city clerk read this portion, but before she does, our wonderful audience, it's very good to see a good turnout. I'm going to impress upon you how important decorum is. So remember, when we're up here conducting business, your opportunity is to say something at the podium there, not shouting from the audience. All right, go ahead, City Clerk, you may read.
This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you when you come to the microphone. Please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is on consent item, please comment now. City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council.
All right, so once again, reiterating, if the item you wish to comment on the consent item, this is the time to do it, so there's no confusion. Okay. Do we have any public comments?
Yes. Mr. Ben Horton.
Mr. Mayor, distinguished members of the council, and people, business people, residents of Calexico. The reason I come before you today in reference to this public comment, before you, you will see something that says, what is the subdivision map app? I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to say you have the information. And the reason I bring this to the council is on the 26th of August, I went before your planning commission in order to have a lot adjustment. Something that's really simple, something that we paid for, which ran into thousands of dollars. We tried to make sure that everything we did was in compliance with the city, what the requirements are in reference to the MAP Act. I had mentioned to Chris about it on a Saturday. I hope we don't have any hiccups, but we had a hiccup. And the reason we had a hiccup was when we went before the Planning Commission, in their, and I say short-sighted, what do you want to call it, they decided they weren't going to take any position on it. And I was beside myself, ladies and gentlemen, really beside myself. They was looking to set policy, which they're not supposed to set policy. They're supposed to enforce what is there. And then to add more insult, they said they had no background. We had provided the background because we had to pay for it. We had to pay for the background to be prepared for the Planning Commission. I want to give credit to the staff, to Chris. They tried to explain it to him, but they didn't understand. In my discussion with them before, they had no understanding of the MAP Act. Nothing. In your wisdom, council, you should appoint people that have a knowledge of what they're supposed to be doing decisions on. And then somebody said they didn't have any background. They had the background. They had the background because we provided the background. And I had mentioned it to this council before. In the commissions, you should make sure you have people that are qualified to do the job. They had only 2 were qualified to understand what the MAP Act was about. That was Mary Salazar and Chris Main. The other 3 had no knowledge of it.
30 seconds.
Okay. And I want to say I commend the city manager for taking action for something that needed to be taken action on. And that includes Miguel Figueroa, the whole staff. They understood what it was about. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Horton.
Ms. Yolanda Cunningham?
Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Yolanda Cunningham y soy residente de aquí de la ciudad de Calexico. La única razón por la que he venido aquí es estaba leyendo que el cuarto martes de cada mes, el señor Hatch está disponible para hablar con los ciudadanos. A mí me gustaría que no solamente fuera el señor Hatch, que fueran con cada uno de los representantes de nosotros, porque hay cosas importantes que nosotros los ciudadanos tenemos que tener acceso a ustedes. Nos sentimos que no tenemos acceso para hablar con ustedes. Es difícil y nos sentimos, la verdad, en muchos momentos nos sentimos ignorados. Y no sé qué solución pudieran ustedes buscar para que las personas, los residentes comunes y corrientes, pudiéramos tener acceso para hablar con ustedes de nuestras situaciones que nos competen, que nos preocupan a nosotros los ciudadanos. Entonces nada más con el señor Hash, sino con cada uno de ustedes, porque cada uno de ustedes da un voto. A mí me tiene preocupada y el señor Dale lo sabe. Venimos y hablamos con el señor Dale y el señor David Romero sobre la situación del parque del área donde nosotros vivimos. Ya se tomó una decisión y nos dijeron que iban a tratar de hablar, que yo tuviera acceso a hablar con alguno de las personas del concilio, pero es difícil, siento que es difícil y yo necesitaría plantearle a todos, porque todos ustedes votan y todos ustedes toman la decisión. Entonces a mí me gustaría que por favor pudieran tener más, o sea, nosotros los ciudadanos pudiéramos tener más acceso a ustedes, hablar con cada uno de ustedes. Eso es todo.
Thank you very
Gracias.
much. Well taken.
Jason Jung?
Okay. As Jason is approaching the podium, it's a good idea, council members. I mean, I'm open to it if you want to set hours during the week. Well, we can't have a quorum, but if you individually want to, yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right. Well, hello, everybody. I'm here on several issues. You know, the issue with Ms. Fernandez, I don't even want to touch anymore. That's yesterday's news. You know, the thing I do want to bring up is I've gotten a couple of calls from people, and they're telling me that we have very unqualified people that are working for the city. Like the HR director has only a high school diploma, and she's an HR director, making about $100,000. I heard about a councilman who got paid off, and this person wants his money back. I mean, what's going on? We have a council member that gets caught for DUI twice. We have a councilman who's accused of taking bribes for the marijuana stuff. This councilman was seen with the assistant city manager in Mexicali at some strip joint. I'm gonna get all the information and I will put it out there so everybody knows what our council is all about. It's sad that you guys are sitting up there holding your heads up straight and bright with pride and looking all innocent when you're giving every single one of us bad service here. And you, Hodge, you said our water rate would not go up. But I think every single person here will tell you that our water rate has gone up. No more 10 cubic feet of base unit. Now you're charging us by the gallon without letting us even know or even taking a vote on this? You
For
guys
your
are all
information, I
messed
voted against it at the last round.
up. Okay, but
Okay.
you said you weren't gonna raise the water rate. Was that not your campaign logo?
Very good. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the people that have come up. They're very aware of the time, and we do have a very heavy agenda, so thank you for keeping it to 3 minutes or under. We will proceed. Go ahead. City
Pedro
Clerk.
Ortiz.
Pedro Ortiz, residente de la ciudad de Calexico. Buenas noches, señores. Otra vez aquí con ustedes y espero que no se me acaben las ganas de verlos, como ustedes se les quitan de verme a mí. Estoy esperando alguna solución, oigan, yo tengo aproximadamente 8 meses viniendo frecuentemente aquí a visitarlos. Y yo no veo ningún avance realmente significativo. Veo muchos planes a futuro, pero nada ya. Y Ciudad de Calexico está moribunda, no está enferma, está moribunda. Y ustedes, perdónenme, pero ninguno está haciendo algo realmente significativo. Ninguno está realmente saliendo. Señor Hocho, usted es maestro, no creo que no se dé cuenta del trafical que hay en la escuela de Bulldogs. No creo que, oye, yo vivo en la Rainbow Park y tardo 20 minutos para llegar a dejar a mi hija. Y ustedes no están poniendo una solución. ¿Van a poner una solución cuándo? Ya tienen que estar haciendo una escuela. No para poner más niños, ya tienen que estar solicitando, buscando, poner otra escuela, ya no es suficiente. No, la solución no es meter más niños en un segundo piso. La solución es meter otra escuela porque el tráfico no se puede, señores. No puede ser posible que una calle como la que es una inversión tan grande, la César Chávez, el poste que está en la vuelta para entrar a la calle Segunda lo han tirado 2 veces. ¿Qué tipo de planeación, qué tipo de ingenieros pusieron a hacer ese trabajo? Ustedes, es su obligación cuestionar a los ingenieros. ¿Qué pasó? Oye, ¿cómo estás haciendo este trabajo tan deficiente? ¿Cómo puede ser posible que yo voy a dejar a mi hijo en la escuela de box y tengo que dar la vuelta hasta los outlets para que no me multe un policía? ¿Cómo puede ser posible? Y ahora vamos a poner la calle Imperial. Pues estábamos aplaudiendo la otra vez que nos íbamos a ahorrar 12 jóvenes. Ahora vamos a usar los 12 jóvenes más los que vamos a usar en la César Chávez y cuando lleve el tráfico en la 98. ¿Qué tipo de trabajo están haciendo ustedes, señores? Ellos hacen la chamba, ¿ok? Y la presentan. Si ustedes no los cuestionan, ellos van a seguir haciendo su chamba. Su trabajo es cuestionarlos, revisar que realmente lo hagan bien.
30
Son humanos y cometen errores, pero su trabajo es revisarlos, ¿ok? Me da una tristeza a mí decir que en mi casa llega a tal grado que me dicen, Pedro, ya cálmate, no vayas a hacer tanto desorden ahí en el concilio. Le digo, vamos a tener problemas en el negocio.
30
Le
seconds,
digo a mi
please.
esposa, para empezar, ¿cuál negocio? No hay negocio en la ciudad de Calexico. Ninguno de ustedes me representa. Ninguno de ustedes siento que me represente. No es justo, señores. Ya pónganse a hacer su trabajo. Gracias.
Your time is up. Thank you.
Mr. Ben Horton, item 11, consent.
On the consent agenda.
I hope this is a little premature, but yet this is in reference to the Carmen Durazo deal. I hope I can commend that at least you're looking into doing something that's going to be positive. And I'm going to give kudo points to Mr. Figueroa, because we brought it up in the economic development, and you have found a way to maintain the center, to give it its own budget, so it's workable. So I hope that you consider to approve, which is part of the consent agenda, unless somebody takes it out to talk about it and try to bring it down, but yet commend you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Horn.
Mr. Kim? Public comments?
Good evening, Mr. Kim.
Good evening, señores. How was the vacations? A lazy kickback at the beach?
Actually, there was no vacation for me, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm glad to see our council has a whole month vacations. Almost 2 months, the citizens or cities running without the public meeting. I strongly believe they have big problem with their attitude to showing the community how they are ignoring community necessary and breaking the Brown Act. I assuming they have a lot of decision making without the city council's approval. It's almost 2 months. Is something wrong there? Even city in the trouble, we didn't have breaks, summer breaks. Whole August, we had opened all the city council regular meeting, especially beside the special meeting. Now this council, they don't have to take care of the citizens. They only taking care of the big guys, favors, friends, not the citizens. I saw several agendas here today, and I see still my friends there, and what they call this, they are hurting their life. Over 300 merchants, they lost their ground. And city intention to eliminating more for the people. When I start my business, I've been starting business at the Summit. I've been several different places in Summit. The Summit, they had merchandise left overnight. But City of Calexico special ones. City of Calexico, they only allowed to have a business, only their friends, and big business, outside the business, not the local business. Look at the sidewalk. All those things, you guys, one, betraying our citizens, not doing your job, I hope you guys are not doing the job. That at least we don't get hurt. But what you guys doing things to hurting us, the local business, local citizens.
30 seconds, Mr. Kim.
And you mentioning of the shouting. You guys, the shouting to the community first. Shouting is not only action, not only speaking. What you guys done, you guys are attacking the citizens. Shouting is not things, just talk. You guys take action to hurting the citizens. Thank you for hurting us.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Mr. Kim?
Time is up.
You have item 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'm glad you guys are paying attention on the individual budget. And last time I mentioning about the what's called the community center, they're collecting the rent that is not in budget. They're just absorbing into the general budget, general income. So we don't know how much rent we collected, how much we spending. We're not knowing. Public not knowing. Now, you guys want to put in the agenda for the separate account for the Carmen Durazo Cultural Arts Center, but there's no revenue side. So rent rent they collected, it should be there.
Right.
And years been rent collected, I don't know that rent was reported as a revenue or somebody's pocket. I don't know. So has to be revenues there. So make sure we have a clear accounting system that you need to face into the community. So I can jump into item number 12.
All right. Okay, sir.
Number 12 is similar. They have a money to spending for the community. And this mentioning Carmen Archer Center too. Their revenue is supposed to be there. Then if they want to spend money for the administration for them, they need to set aside from part of that over $100,000. They should set aside for how much they're going to spend for that areas. So you guys have a budgeting is actually there's something wrong there. How much are we going to receive it? How much are we going to spend? That's the budget. But you guys are not sure how much we're going to receive, how much you're going to spend it. So our budget system very bad. I'm going to show you later on under our audit. As our city is spending a lot of money without the people knowing. People know, wow, I didn't know that. Or of course they're supposed to be in the budget. They're not showing up. So please make sure to our budget makes more clear for the community. Number 13. This number 13, I believe the gas companies, they want to keep the business with us. And I give them credit. They've been here to serve the community, but as the fossil energy burning time is gone. So they've been here, probably they've been granted their grandfathering. But whatever this message doesn't, I don't want to showing the community and showing the people they are promoting partial bonds, partial energy bonds. So make sure that we need to have a proper process to changing our energies to the electricities or others, not the partial burning.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Kim. He already spoke? Okay. What is it?
Nothing. Public comments.
Oh, he has a right for public comments, City Clerk. He can speak again. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Señores, otro comentario que quiero hacerles. Necesitamos que sean esas juntas del concilio, las hagan más sencillas, ¿no? Porque la mayoría de la gente que estamos aquí no entendemos los códigos que están poniendo ustedes en la lista y todas lo estructurado que está esta sesión. No sé por qué no hacen un FaceTime. No sé por qué motivo, no sé si me lo pueden explicar, un FaceTime, porque mucha gente no puede venir. La mayoría de la gente vive en el campo, trabaja en el campo, y a las 6 de la tarde, 6:30 venirse, cuando ya es tiempo de irse a dormir para ellos, pues no es aconsejable. Van a faltar a su día de trabajo. Entonces necesitamos hacer un FaceTime o algo por aquí. No sé cuál sea el problema de hacerlo. Aquí que se lo encarguen al abogado, que encuentre la forma. Segunda cuestión. ¿Por qué no hay una partida para los negocios chicos de Calexico, señores? A nosotros no nos interesa la Walmart. La Walmart ni siquiera está dejando empleos, está emocionado de poner maquinitas para que cada quien pague. No quiere dejar ni siquiera empleos a la ciudad de Calexico, y los pocos que hay, la mayoría son de tiempos parciales que a los únicos que les conviene es a la gente de Mexicali venir a trabajar ahí. ¿Ok? Necesitamos que le den tiempos a la gente. Necesitamos que los representantes del concilio se llenen de lo que es el comercio de aquí. Se den cuenta de lo que es el comercio. Ninguno es comerciante. Romero, así con la misma fuerza e ímpetu que hiciste un negocio en Mexicali, necesito que te des cuenta de lo que se batalla hacer un negocio aquí. Y el negocio de aquí de tu padre es de tu padre, no es tuyo. Tú no lo batallaste. Tú le ayudaste, pero tú no le batallaste a hacerlo. Quiero que te des una idea de lo que se batalla con un negocio aquí. Pon un negocio aquí. Si lo quieres poner allá, perfecto, estás en libertad, no te lo prohíbe. No se me hace ético que estés fomentando el negocio de aquí y corras a poner un negocio allá.
Please don't
Pero
make it
bueno,
personal.
esa es tu decisión. Necesitamos que impulsen los comercios chicos de Calexico.
Okay.
Que consuman ustedes mismos, la ciudad consuma
30
los negocios
seconds.
de aquí. Eso es lo que necesitamos. Gracias.
De nada. Is that it? Okay, thank you very much for your public comments. You have one there? Put it. Okay, very good. Come forward.
Buenas noches, miembros del concilio. Buenas noches, City Manager, Assistant City Manager y Ciudad de Calexico. La razón por la cual estoy aquí ahora es porque quiero expresar lo que he escuchado los últimos días que pasan aquí en la ciudad de Calexico. Cuando, a raíz de todo el problema que soltó con Santo Tomás, de lo que pasó, nosotros nos hicimos, de alguna manera, Pedro, César y yo nos hicimos líderes del grupo de los vendedores de Santo Tomás. Eso despertó que mucha gente se viniera y se acercara con nosotros y nos platicaran sus problemas, sus situaciones, lo que está viviendo. Incluso se empezó a agregar no solamente gente de Santo Tomás, sino fuera de toda la ciudad. Y en base a todos los comentarios que han hecho y que he escuchado, la gente no tiene respeto por ustedes, no los valora. Cada vez que hacen un tema referente a los miembros del concilio, son puros comentarios negativos, puro entre que son corruptos, entre que son amigos nomás de ciertas personas y esas personas ayudan. Y la verdad me dolió. O sea, llegó un punto donde dije yo, no manches, la gente no tiene respeto por los dirigentes de la ciudad, no tiene respeto por su propia ciudad. Y Calexico necesita despertar ese respeto otra vez, a través de sus ciudadanos, a través de los negocios y a través de sus dirigentes también. Yo creo que en la mentalidad de mucha gente, cuando le haces una propuesta de trabajo, yo creo que la mitad de las personas sueñan con tener la posición más alta en las empresas donde se desenvuelven. Llegar a ser presidente de la nación, llegar a ser alcalde de una ciudad. Yo siempre desde chico tenía la idea de que son posiciones respetables y que cada uno que se presta para llegar a tener esos servicios a su ciudad debería tener no una vida perfecta, porque nadie es perfecto, pero sí tener una vida por lo menos de ética, una buena ética. Que la gente cuando se exprese de ustedes diga, wow, están haciendo algo bueno por la ciudad. Yo nomás quiero llamarles la atención, bueno, no llamar la atención, sino traer a su atención ese punto. Calexico necesita despertar otra vez lo que fue hace 40 años, hace 30 años. Era la de las ciudades más prósperas del Valle Imperial. Mexicali venía todo, la mayoría de Mexicali venía aquí o a echar gasolina, o en aquel tiempo a la FedMart, a la Kmart, al Safeway, a muchas tiendas que existían, venían a hacer negocio aquí. Y la gente cuando hablaba de Calexico era venir a hacer negocios. Hoy, como dijo mi compañero Pedro, no los hay. Yo soy miembro del Calexico Indoor Swami que se está abriendo, una pequeña tienda con el esfuerzo desde mero abajo de los vendedores, de algún grupo de vendedores de Santo Tomás, que decidimos hacer algo. Hemos buscado, nos hemos acercado con el City Manager, con Miguel y con Dale, y ellos, de alguna manera, no quiero decir que nos están ayudando porque no es ayuda, es su trabajo, buscar soluciones y buscar prosperidad para la ciudad y para los negocios y para los ciudadanos en común.
30 seconds.
Nosotros estamos luchando, algunos de ustedes ya fueron a visitarnos y creo que se están dando cuenta del gran esfuerzo que estamos haciendo. De la misma manera, apoyen a las demás personas.
Time is up,
Gracias.
please. Thank you.
Armando Martínez. Armando Martínez.
Muy buenas tardes a todos ustedes, miembros del concilio, buenas tardes. Mi motivo o mi presencia de estar aquí es precisamente pues el apoyar a lo que es el comercio. En reiteradas veces he estado aquí precisamente para empujar este asunto de que la economía de la localidad de Calexico ha estado flagelada, ¿no? Todos aquí en esta tribuna, los que estamos ahorita presentes, somos importantes, pero ustedes, señores, tienen una responsabilidad en sus hombros. Hace rato estaban pues mencionando la misión por la cual fueron elegidos. Les falta sensibilidad a ustedes para que se acerquen a la gente, que estén más de cerca. Es muy bonito estar en esa tribuna, de una manera u otra sentirse importante. Esa es la impresión. Yo lo tomé ahorita cuando miré a la señora, de que parecía como si fueran alguien inalcanzables, que no pueden ni siquiera acercarse para poder plantearte un problema que tienen. Les falta sensibilidad, señores. Acérquense a la gente, acérquense al pueblo. La gente necesita ser escuchada, y ustedes, aparte de escucharlos, accionar, que es lo más importante. De nada sirve que ustedes anden en la campaña promoviéndose que van a cambiar Calexico, que van a hacer esto, que van a mejorar una cosa u otra. Cuando llegan aquí se olvidan de sus promesas. No toman en consideración tantas cosas que son tan importantes, porque les voy a decir una cosa: las personas que estamos aquí, cada uno de nosotros contribuimos para el sueldo que a ustedes se les paga. Mucho o poco, no lo sé, pero de una forma u otra son nuestros trabajadores, y ustedes nos tienen que rendir cuentas para poder ver si realmente son personas calificadas para poder estar en este lugar. Acuérdense, el puesto en el que están ustedes no es permanente, y si ustedes no accionan, la verdad que sería un descaro el que en la siguiente reelección quieran ofrecerse como el Mesías, o no sé cómo lo pudiera nombrar. El asunto es que necesitamos más acción. Tomen en cuenta las opiniones de las personas que están aquí, son muy valiosas para que ustedes puedan desarrollar un trabajo exitoso. Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Jesse García.
Can you just stay there? Okay, Jesse.
Good evening, Jesse Garcia, 600 Block Lincoln Street.
If you're in pain, Mr. Garcia, you should sit down if you're in pain. You feel okay? You're in pain?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll lean right here. No. Jesse Garcia, 600 Block Lincoln Street.
Karaoke.
About 2 months ago, I reported a sidewalk on the 500 block of Lincoln Street by Rodriguez Park that is broken. I mean, it's cracked. There's a big hole in the middle of the sidewalk. Okay, so I met with Public Works, and they showed them the pictures. And they said they were going to get right to it. Well, it's been 2 months. Every time I call, I'm told we're going to get to it first thing Monday morning. Well, about 4 Mondays have passed. Nothing. There's a hole right there. I mean, I don't know if the city has money to pay all those lawsuits. If
Mr.
somebody
Garcia,
gets
I'm sorry, what park is this again?
Rodriguez Park, 500 block of Lincoln Street. And every time I told we're going to get right to it, nothing has been done. I mean,
The sidewalk there.
the sidewalk, see. They went over, they painted some spray paint, markers. It's almost, you could barely see that they're wearing out already. They're fading. They still haven't gotten to it. So, I mean, someday somebody go, I pass by there on my wheelchair and they get stuck
Yes.
also. Just one more another thing. A few months back, I came here, the IID people were here, Eric Ortega, because I met with them to ask at the IID board about a street light on Pierce 700, I think it was. It's between Grant and Lincoln Street. There is no street light on Pierce. The people who live there tell me that they're afraid sometimes to go outside in the dark because it's at night because it's too dark right there to see. All right, IID approved it. They say yes, they'll install the light, but they need the city to get the equipment. Well, nothing has happened. Also, only one street light. That's all that's required right there, just one street light. So the person who lives in that corner, Mr. Huerta, he told me that the city doesn't have the pole to put it right there in the wooden pole right by his house. So every time they ask me, what happened with the light? When is it going to be installed? So what should I tell them?
Appreciate your concerns and your efforts, Mr. Garcia. On these two items, I personally will follow up and find out what's going on and see if we can come to a resolution.
All right. I got more, but it's other meetings. Thank you.
I'm sure you do. And thank you so much for carrying. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Now we come to city council comments and reports of meetings attended. After that will be city manager's report. So, council, starting to my right, any city council comments?
No comment at the moment.
No comment. Councilman?
No comments.
No comment. To my left, Mr. Councilman Risen, any comment today?
I just want to just tell the people that we're doing a lot of work downtown. You can see that the streets are, Second Street is now a two-way street. We did a change for the better of Calexico downtown. We just added gates today on the alleys. That one alley that they've been using for restrooms for many years. They added it on today. And then as you can see, the Second Street, Imperial Avenue, going to Second Street, you can see that it's open to go into Mexico. So we have three outlets to go to Mexico. We have Grant Street and Second Street, and we have 98 going to Cole Road, Cesar Chavez. So we're doing a lot of changes downtown. So that's my comment for today.
Thank you, Councilman Risen. Councilman.
No,
Pacheco.
Mr. Dale, on Imperial Avenue, we've got the old, in the middle, the divider still there, and I know you gave us a time frame of when we're gonna remove that so there'd be easier access now to go north and south of Imperial. Is that still on board? Is it on the calendar?
Yes, it is, Councilman Pacheco. That's a Caltrans project, and they do plan to do some work there, and when they do that work, and I think it's March of 2020, they're going to remove that center divider at the same time.
March of 2020.
It's more or less March of 2020.
Thank you. Anything else? No? I have a comment or a few. As mayor, in spite of what some individuals believe, I care and I want to change the negative to the positive. So everyone that comes up here, I listen, take notes, and then try to follow up. What we need in our city is a lot of things. One area are some high values, and that is, and I'm referring to the city council and the government, not the public. And that is decorum, professionalism, and high standards among the city council, among administration, and among the commissions. The commissions need a lot of work. I don't want to see them disappear. They're vital to the functioning of government. But Mr. O'Hurton commented on an incident that happened last week. Unfortunately, there were two commission meetings where we had two individuals as commissioners that were not upholding those standards of decorum or professionalism or high standards. They were rude, they were intimidating, and they were just downright obnoxious. So, council, believe in giving everybody a chance, but if you continue to hear the same record over and over again about these individuals, I believe, give them a chance, but if they keep repeating this bad behavior, I, as mayor, believe that you should ask them to step down, and that includes myself among any appointees. And the other area is very important, and that is I strongly insist upon the administration to get the right people to do this, and that is to reevaluate the application forms, the content of those application forms, and to improve upon them for requirements and qualifications. So that's my say about the commissions. It's embarrassing, and that's negative, and we're going to try very hard. You heard him say it, fake news. Ladies and gentlemen, if you keep repeating something over and over again and it's not true, guess what? You'll believe it. Everybody in a democracy has a right to come up here and give constructive criticism. But I warn people, please, no personal attacks or slanderous remarks. There are limitations and parameters to freedom of speech. But this is a democracy, and I welcome everybody up here for their constructive criticism. And I take note of that. As to the comment that we take a vacation, I feel important to counter that perception. And I feel it's important to counter perceptions that are made by a few individuals. We work very hard for you. Maybe we're not on the right track, and maybe what needs to be done is more communications, and I will work for that. But we work very hard. In the month of August, I worked harder personally with meetings and briefings and issues than I did during the regular period where we have council meetings. And I can vouch for our fellow council members here. So I'm not going to let that go by. We're working hard for you. But if you feel that there are certain areas of neglect, please tell us. Please tell us. And we take action. There's a lot of positive things happening. And maybe that's our fault, that we're not letting you know all the positive things. A great amount of infrastructure has been completed, roads, streets in Calexico. That's a real asset. I wish our nation would take that seriously, our infrastructure. And we have here. And remember, when you lose something, you gain something, or when you gain, you lose. It's a trade-off. So anyway, those are my comments right now, and I can't think of any meetings that I attended, but I'll move it over to City Manager, Mr. Dale. Any comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. I would like to report that yourself, Mr. Mayor, myself, our Public Works Manager, and our Fire Chief were able to visit the detention center on the east
That's right.
port of entry. What struck me the most about that was like a 3-hour visit. What struck me the most was how efficient and just like we say here, they have some of the similar mission statements there. Efficiency, effectiveness. It was amazing. Everything was clean. Everything was, the inmates were in line. Everything was perfect. But what struck me the most about that, they have about 700 inmates. Struck me the most was that they have 220 employees. 220 employees with 700 inmates. Now I realize there's more employees that's needed in a detention center. But imagine we have 41,000 residents. We have something like 78 miles of water lines and sewer lines. And we have 130 employees, or 140. Now, when we get complaints about our service, I acknowledge that we need to improve our service. I acknowledge that. But what we need is more employees. We need more revenue. On that line, I would like to, I was hesitating to say this because I wanted to wait for the Q2 results, but I'm going to go ahead and say it because it's been mentioned here in this council chamber, public statements several times that the city of Calexico is dying. The city of Calexico is dying. I got the Q1 results, which compare to Q1 results of 2018. I got the Q1 results for 2019. That's January, February, and March. The sales tax in fuel service stations went up. Sales tax for restaurants went up. Things are getting better, folks. No matter what we're hearing here from people that have ulterior political motives, things are getting better in this city. Whether you like it or not, they are getting better. And they will continue to get better when we have a council as one mind here who wants to follow the law, uphold the law, and do the right thing for their residents. We are working for the 41,000 people. So if something goes bad for the 1 or the 2 or the 10, and we're going to choose the 41,000 for the best. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to continue to do. And so when I hear generalized comments, and every council meeting we hear them, generalized comments that are talking about the council, talking about us, but nothing specific that they can put their finger on, then there's something to that. For example, Brown Act violation. What Brown Act violation? Tell me, what Brown Act violation did we go against by not having council meetings in August? There wasn't any. If there is one, please tell me, because we can't find one.
Well,
so I wanted to mention that because we're hearing it every time, and we don't say anything.
no, we have to say something.
We have to tell the truth.
Because we have a wrong perception in some areas, and we can't let that go by.
The truth is, we're working the best we can for the people here in this city. For the safety, for the prosperity. We're doing the best that we can possibly do. Now, whether we're the right persons or not, that's up to you to decide in the elections. But for now, we're doing the best that we can possibly do every day for you.
Well, we can do better, and we will.
And we will continue. I wanted to also mention that we are still in the hiring process for our police. It's a little difficult to hire police officers these days because of all the rules that the state of California is passing down, basically citing on the criminals and not on the police. But we're able to hire some police officers. We got one that we swore in this week.
Very good.
And also we got a dispatch supervisor now finally. And another conditional, so we still have, what, 4 more to go? 5 more to go. We're still trying to hire 5 more police officers. And we did interviews, I think it was last week, for police officers, Saturday. So we are on track to get 5 more police officers. So we're doing the best we can. We know that we're low on police officers. We know we're not providing the service that we need to, but we're continuing to try to increase those numbers.
Thank you. Thank you very much, City Manager. Assistant City Manager and Economic Development, Mr. Figueroa.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the audience. I am happy to share with you that the U.S. Commissioner for the International Boundary and Water Commission, Jane Harkins, through the leadership of the City of Calexico and the County of Imperial, will be in Calexico on October 23rd to lead the Colorado River Citizens Forum. a group, which is a branch of IBWC, tasked with identifying the binational water treaties that exist dating back to the early 1900s. The importance of this is because we've talked at length about what potentially can become a new lung in the city of Calexico, which is the Parkway project in the west side of town. There's an agenda item that's going to follow right now in our action calendar, which I will get more details of. But we are beginning to get the decision makers that can actually trigger federal money, not only to give us more for the projects, but to sustain the projects so it doesn't cost anybody here a dime. With that said, I am also happy to share that we're not asking for seed money. We have money already in place to begin some of the key construction of the items pertaining to both the improvements south of the 2nd Street Bridge and north of the 2nd Street Bridge. So not every day we have the U.S. Commissioner for IBWC come to town. So she will be here, and we will have a forum set up to work with her. On another note, I see IID President Eric Ortega with us here in the audience. Tomorrow we will be hosting a milestone event here in these chambers. The IID is partnering with a very important agency in the country of Mexico. It's called CENACE, Centro Nacional de Control de Energía. This is binational initiatives that are looking to put us as an example for others to follow. It's an international partnership when it comes to exchanging and selling power to Mexico. We will be having a ceremony tomorrow here at 9:30 in the morning to memorialize this partnership. We're going to have the honor of having the Mexican Consul, Tonatiu Romero, joining us, along with a distinguished member of our city council and the top administration from the IID, in addition to President Ortega. So with that said, I want to emphasize that we continue to partner, not run by ourselves, but we go with the hands of those partners that are helping us not only open the doors in Sacramento, but open the doors in DC, and at the same time continue to offer opportunities for the long-awaited business development to come to the city in very, very proactive approaches, such as updating what constitutes our policies so we can conduct business in the 21st century, not in the 20th century. I see some business people from the city here with us today that have been proactive in wanting to assist and be part of what we're beginning to change, which is a culture of getting things done. That's my report, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Figueroa. Consent agenda items. Is there a motion to begin with for items 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13?
To move that we accept items 7 through 13.
Second.
Second by Councilman Romero. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No opposition. It moves unanimously. We move now to discussion and potential action items. 14, as I indicated before, was pulled. So we move on to number 15. Yes, but let me read what we're going to discuss about. It says, reject all bids received by the Calexico New River Parkway, Project Phase 1B, Federal Project number, oh, that's a long one, I'll just skip that. And Mr. Figueroa, any plays a staff report on this issue? About
Absolutely.
rejecting bids?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. It's a very straightforward item. As you have been following the saga of the New River improvements in the city, we've come across with now having construction monies in the amount of north of a little of $2 million to begin construction of Phase 1B for the Parkway project. We received 2 bids, which came above what we have right now on budget for Phase 1B. What we are requesting right now is that we go back, that we make some minor tweaks to the RFP, so potentially we can have bids come in at the budgeted amount that we have, or even lower, and we can proceed at this point. So at this point right now, we are requesting that you reject the existing bids so we can go back through the process and make sure that we have a proposal, a request for proposal that can come under the threshold of the money we have.
Because both bids were too high.
That is correct.
We want to stay within our budget.
Yes.
Make a motion to accept and reject the bids.
Yes, ma'am. Can you?
We have speakers.
Oh, you can't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You can't speak. Oh.
I have speakers.
Oh, you do have speakers? Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. If you have well, my apologies. My apologies, yeah. Before we take a vote, let's have public comments. Very important. My apologies.
Mr.
I'll address your question, Ms. Valenzuela, I promise. But just give me one.
All right, anyone else?
Ben Horton.
Mr. Horton. Passer? Ladies first, but.
So, Mr. Mayor, I did hear Ms. Valenzuela's question. She's been a long advocate for the improvements of the New River. What I do want to say, Ms. Valenzuela, is that the components south of the 2nd Street Bridge, which are 3 key infrastructure improvements, will tag along to the Parkway project, which in essence, we will get what's in the improvement strategic plan, which calls for the item that you allude to. So it's part of what's being considered for Calexico.
Any more comments? City clerk?
Yes, Mr. Horton.
I'm going to say something, and this is to give kudos to everybody here. Out of many, we are one. And let's move forward and be one, working together. In reference to the rejection of the bids, when we put the bids out, did we have certain parameters that we were looking for, and did the bid, what we were looking for, stay within the parameters? That's one of the questions that I have. If so, why are we rejecting them?
The existing funding that we have right now for Phase 1B, which is what's being RFP'd, which is the construction management and construction of Phase 1B, as the second page of the staff report reads, it's $2.1 million more or less.
You have to stay within your...
Exactly, that is correct.
Okay, so I guess you're going to readjust it to make sure that the parameters are met.
We are Ms. Falomir, who is our Public Works Manager, and myself will retweak some of the components that are going to be requested, so that could potentially bring down the bids that we receive.
Okay, thank you, Assistant Manager Figueroa.
Any more public comments?
Mr. Kim?
Mr. Kim.
One simple word, too late. Too late and too late. It's been years and years, we're wasting a lot of money, not been done nothing. And now we have to reject the bid again, not again, just first time. I'm very disappointed well, it's not disappointed. I believe the city of Calexico always doing like a talking, years and years, and then chipping the money, land up, we don't have money. So many cases like this, as the new Labor Committee, whatever, they had the money and spending, money and wasted, money and wasted, money and wasted. How much are we going to waste again? And you guys are not going to happy. You guys are right now threatening me I'm talking too much. So if I'm the regular person, probably I get scared. Go ahead, whatever you want to do it. Okay? Don't threaten me in that way. I express my opinion based on the history, based on the action what you guys have taken. And you guys have a plan, how when did they get started? And I don't see the water treatments. They only piping, polluted water, piping, just throwing the out of it. Now, what are we going to do it? We're going to have a pollution, maybe not in nearby the Calexico, but rest of the outside of the Calexico are going to be smelly. Those are pollutions around in our areas. So I urge us to looking for the funds, looking for the project to make sure we try to treat it. It's very important issues. One of the major portion to polluting the Salton Sea too. That water goes to the Salton Sea. So we are killing ourselves, not doing proper ways. So please take the action this time people can see as that project is on the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Any other comments
No, sir,
on this item? I just want a clarification. We have, if I understand it right, we have two major parts to the New River. One is what Mr. Kim alluded to, and that is the construction for public safety, and we're not going to encase the river, but trash collectors and so forth. And the other is the pathway, the parkway, and wasn't that mandated by the state that it was contingent in order to do the construction that helps protect and eradicates the pollution, that we had to do the parkway first? Am I correct on that assumption?
So I think you folks know that I can talk about this subject for a very long time.
Yes.
But I'll be
Please don't be frustrated.
I'll be
It's a complicated issue.
No, I understand. So in 2011, the state of California adopted the New River Improvement Strategic Plan. Within that plan, there are 5 reaches that were identified. One of them is Reach 1, which is the Calexico Reach. There are infrastructure improvements projects that were approved by the state of California south of the 2nd Street Bridge, which are the ones you allude to. North of the 2nd Street Bridge, we have the Parkway project.
Parkway.
We can't have one without the other. We
That's
need
correct.
two so it can happen. The advantage that we have, given that Imperial County does not have the political cloud to attract the monies that San Diego and Tijuana attract for their own issues, we right now have a plan with projects identified that are being funded by both the federal government and the state government. Right now, we have something beyond a shovel-ready project. We have full-blown EIRs complete. We have preliminary engineering plans complete.
We've come a long way.
So now, in essence, the easy part is what we are trying to accomplish after decades of being in this, which is getting our policymakers to continue to invest in the projects. Right now, we have $2 million to begin the construction of a parkway project called for by the citizens of Calexico. Second, we have $10 million from Prop 68 to be spent on the 3 infrastructure improvements south of the 2nd Street Bridge. So right now, if we want to get technical, the only money we need to finish both projects are $27.6 million. When you compare that we already have $14 million
invested,
we are way ahead of the game for a segregated community in the state of California. So I think we are on the other side in order to make sure that we can accomplish this with the leadership in the U.S. Congress and in the state capitol in Sacramento.
Thank you very much, Mr. Figueroa, for that clarification. Moving on.
We need a
We
vote.
need to vote.
So we're going to reject the bids until we
Yes.
get
Is there a motion?
I mean,
A motion, please?
Make a motion
to reject all bids received for the Calexico New River Parkway project phase.
Yes.
All right, is there a second?
I second.
All right, seconded by Councilman Romero. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, no? Okay, very good. It passes unanimously. Moving on to number 17, item 17.
16.
16. Subject, authorize city manager to sign change order for number 4 with Hazard Construction in the amount of, am I reading this right? $35,000?
$35,513.
Yeah, okay, very good. For street improvement project, asphalt rubber composite layer overlay on designated streets, project number 2018-100. Staff report, Mr. Dale?
Yes, I'd like to invite our Public Works Manager,
Very
Liliana
good.
Fallimer.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. We are in the final stages of finalizing our 2018 street improvement program. That was approximately about $4 million. The additional request for this change order was that once we were out paving at Las Haciendas subdivision, we got a lot of complaints from residents that their sidewalks were broken, that they had water stagnant in front of their homes. So we wanted to go ahead and improve the sidewalks and the curb gutters so we wouldn't
So
be
we
having
are
those
responding to the wishes and needs of the public.
residents, yes. So that's why I'm here before you to authorize the city manager to sign change order number 4 for hazard construction.
Very good.
Ms. Falomita, this is going to take us into $4,119,618.36. That is the amount that's going to be
Yes,
expended.
to finalize it, yes.
To finalize, and that's
this
the last
has nothing to do with the general fund. All
No.
these funds are from the Measure D.
Measure D funds. So we put into streets and pavement 4 million.
Correct.
So there's where the money goes.
Any other questions among the council before we go to public comment? No? Public comment?
Mr. Kim.
Mr. Kim.
I believe this one is approved last year, February 18. And they're starting right now, August 19, almost a year and a half. And now you're amending the budget. I want to know why it takes so long and several streets. I was criticizing last year about the street. They're not finished the pavements. They're all the coal tires all over the street. And then left a couple of weeks and just like they don't do anything. I want to know why they come this late, even they're not finished yet.
We had several issues. They started in the summer, then it got too warm, then they began again, and then we had in the winter. Also, at the same time that this project was happening, there was a whole bunch of street improvement projects throughout the county, and also Caltrans. So the availability of material also delayed the project.
But in my opinion, they're not doing the job right. It's a year and a half. Now not done yet, and then they want more money. It's something for me is we are lack of oversizing or supervising our project to make sure what we're doing all those things for the community. But it doesn't have a right to bothering community street or under controls and out of the controls. Please do more to effecting the minimizing the what's called minimizing the problem for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Mr. Dale, would you say we've done the most capital improvement projects in this city of Calexico from the time that you've been here? Would you tell me más o menos how much money or Ms. Falomita we've spent?
In the past 2 years, we probably spent $25 million.
$25 million to improve the streets,
Water plant, water
plant,
lines.
and the $25 million.
Additionally, we have about an $80 million capital improvement program for the next 5 years.
We're going to be doing that. So there's where your money is going. Mejorar las calles, las tuberías.
Yep.
Thank you.
As we are finalizing this project, we also have in construction our 2019 street improvement project, which is approximately $6 million. So we're both working hand in hand with finishing the 2018 as well as now in construction for our 2019.
Beautiful,
good.
beautiful.
Okay. Yes, it is.
No, this is just,
But it's important for people to question where the money's going and why and how much. Okay, is there a motion for this item, number 16?
Motion to authorize item 16.
All right, second by Councilmember Risen. Very good. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Nope. Okay, it passes unanimously. Now on to item number 17. Subject, introduce and conduct a first reading by title only of an ordinance amending in its entirety Chapter 5.80 of the Calexico Municipal Code pertaining to taxi cabs. Staff report.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. As
If
you're
you
probably
care to.
Yeah, as you're aware, the state California governor signed Assembly Bill number 1069. That changed taxi cab regulations in the state of California and required cities to adopt a new taxi ordinance. So working with our city engineer and working with some of our taxi cab owners and their attorneys, attorney. Yeah, just was thinking engineer, I don't know why. So working with their attorneys, we got a draft ordinance for your review. In it, we are assessing violations to those who do not have proper taxi cab licenses and insurances. Basically, we call them here in the city of Calexico raiteros. There is a $1,000 fine for them, every offense that they're found. And additionally, for riders in those illegal cabs, a $100 fine the first time, the second time $200, and then the third time $500 fine. We are going to aggressively go after this problem because it's taking away the money from our legitimate businesses in this city.
Very
So
good.
if this is approved, if this goes through, then we are going to install signage around the port of entry. We will have a code enforcement officer, which will be funded hopefully by our contract we'll be bringing to you hopefully in 2 weeks by Republic. We'll have a code enforcement officer downtown. We'll also increase our police presence down there. And we will be enforcing this situation because we want to make sure that the legitimate businesses are.
Very good positive outcome. Thank you.
well, the issue there is we don't know what type of car the raitero has and if it's working well, if brakes or whatever.
That's why there's laws. Exactly.
You have to maintain that, pero dame 15, te llevo a Brawley, dame 15, vamos a Coachella, Indio, salgo en 15 minutos.
It's a big problem in the
Yeah,
city.
it is.
In fact,
It
they
is.
have their own web page, believe it or not.
They do?
They promote on
do.
Facebook.
So
My. And not to mention the huge liability for the city if something was to happen tragically.
Absolutely.
Well, we're not only going to punish the raitero, but those taking the rides with these gentlemen.
And there'll be
glad we have
proper
some teeth in
signage
it.
to let people know, look, if you get in a car that is not properly licensed, you will be fined.
So 30 days after we say yes to this, second reading or?
Absolutely.
We do the
After
second
the
reading?
30 days after the second reading, which will be October 18th, something like that.
Goes into effect.
And we'll start making the signage. We'll start getting prepared.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I just
Any
want to
more
add
comments among the council?
Carlos?
just one comment
Sure.
too. We went ahead and while there was legislation, we took the opportunity to update the ordinance to be more reflective of the current conditions here. So while we did update to comply with state law, at the same time too, we went and updated the ordinance to reflect the way the taxi cab operations were happening here in the city.
Very good.
So.
All right, now on to public comments on this item. Any? No? Okay?
I do want to just add one thing. We were originally talking about a $5,000 fine, but according to our city attorney, that was too much. We had to put it to 1,000, so just wanted to.
Okay.
All right, very good. Council members, do I have a motion for item number 17 regarding the taxi cabs?
Motion to approve item
First reading.
17.
Very good.
Second.
By Council Member Romero,
Second by Councilwoman Fernandez.
and second by Councilwoman Fernandez. Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? None. Okay. Again, item passes unanimously. On to item number 18. We only have 76 items, so bear with us. No, I'm kidding. What, close, 30-something. We're moving. All right, subject, authorize the city manager to sign agreement for professional services between the city of Calexico and 180 Solutions LLC for telecommunications, cost management, and cost reduction. Would you like to give a staff report, anybody,
Yes,
on this issue?
Mr. Mayor, I want to say that our phone systems in City Hall and other places that we have locations are very outdated. They were built in this building approximately 25, 30 years ago, something like that. And we have a number of lines that are not used that we're paying for. There's another situation that we're looking at, potentially going to voice over internet protocol, which would reduce our cost substantially. But we don't have the expertise and the knowledge that the company will come in. They will go through every line. They will tell us you can save money here, you can save money there, you can do better here with your communications, and it costs us absolutely zero.
Good.
And what the only thing that it will cost would be that if they do find savings, which they will, we share the half and half.
And that's the whole point. Good cost management and cost reduction.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any public comments on this item, City Clerk?
No, sir.
No. Very good. All right.
Second.
Second by Councilman Romero. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right. Very good. It passes unanimously. Number 19. This one? Yes. Subject is June 30th, 2018 audited financial statements. It is recommended that the City Council receive and file the city's June 30th, 2018 audited financial statements. Do we have to vote on this one?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
All right.
I do want to apologize that we could not have the PUN group here to present. They were unavailable, but I felt it was extremely important to get this audit to you as soon as possible because it's already late. It was due in July 1st, and we already are under the gun by the State Controller's Office, which I've been getting calls and emails saying, where's your audit, where's your audit? So I apologize that we don't have them here to describe in detail this audit, but I'll give you the overview.
Very good.
Essentially, this is the audit now for 17-18. This is not the audit for last fiscal year. This is the audit for 17-18. We started as a city. We started that fiscal year with a negative over $3 million fund balance in the general fund. And if some of you remember, or you all remember, that in the beginning, 2014-15, there was a negative $4 million spending. I mean, they spent $4 million over. In 15-16, again, another $4 million they overspent. And there was some.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dale. This is under the watchful eye of Mr. Kim, where on 2014 and 2015, they overspent $4.1 million in the general fund. And then the following year, they misspent, and there was a deficit of $4 million.
Yes.
So in 2 years, we had a deficit of $8,000.
$8 million.
$8 million.
And so we drew down on the reserves and got to zero. And in fact, it went down. Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
Mayor, we're not ready.
No.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
I have
sorry.
to write to the
No,
board.
no,
we're not at that
You
time
called me
yet.
my name.
We're not at the time
no,
yet.
be-
for
Call me
that.
my
be-
name, I have
because-
a
I-
right to say what's going on.
Mr. Kim, I understand how you feel, but you cannot retort on this issue. He has the moment, he has to speak. Please sit down.
My issue with this gentleman is that he tells us to do our job.
Correct.
To do our job, to do your job. And he's been saying that for 2.5 years. We've been doing our job to the extent of not having this type of a deficit.
Absolutely.
This board is working diligently with Mr. Figueroa and Mr. Dale to make sure that this does not occur again.
And Director
So,
Lovatos.
we're thankful that our department heads, our workers, everybody has tightened their belt and is making it work for the city of Calexico for the 41,000 citizens that we have.
You just
So
stated
when we
facts.
Say,
Those
so
are
when
facts.
we say, he tells me, do your job, I'm just answering back, we are doing our job.
In fact, we're going back 10 years and doing projects that should have been done 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Those projects that you alluded to, all these projects could have been done years and years ago, but for whatever reason during that
We're not
time,
done.
it didn't get done. So we're actually going back years and trying to make up for that,
To
those
catch
projects
up.
being completed.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry, but the do your job, ya no cae bien. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry for that,
No,
Mr. Mayor.
let's move on.
I'm sorry for
Let's
that.
move on.
So you want me
but-
to continue or?
But the public, oh, yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay, well, it's up to you, Mr. Mayor. So I was going to say, so in 14-15, there was a negative overspend, in 15-16, overspend, and in 17-18, in the beginning of the year, as you might remember, the original budget, the annual budget, was a deficit of negative $3 million.
Yes.
And that's when Armando Villa took over as the
Yes.
city manager. He made up for a big chunk of that. He made up for $2.1 million in that budget year, but there was, or 2.3, and there was still a $700,000 deficit during that year. When we came in, we were trying to make that deficit up. We ran into some stumbling blocks, as you all know, but in the end, we were able to make up that $700,000. In addition to that, we made up an additional $800,000. So we made, in that year, what it shows here is that the fund balance was a negative $3 million in the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, it was a negative $1.7 million. So we made up $1.3 million in deficit this fiscal year, and it's in this budget, in this annual audit. It shows it
Very
perfectly.
good news.
And yes, we did it by tightening our belts, not by letting any employees go. And I want to add, of course, we've said it so many times, we could only have done it with the cooperation and the sacrifices of the employees here. Everybody took a cut, everybody took a hit, and a lot of us right now, as it stands, are doing more than one job. We have multiple hats, and we're going to continue to do that until we get to a point where we have a reserve that at least gives us some chance to breathe. I'm hoping that at the end of this fiscal year that will show that we're going to be somewhere in the even area, which means we made up another 1.7 this past year.
Excellent.
I hope it comes that we're gonna be making that presentation. I'm giving out the secrets, but and you're probably upset at me, Carla, but I'm sorry. But I think it's prudent to say this at this point because of all the negativity that comes at us every night that we're here in these council meetings. We're making up big progress in the general fund. I mean, when you look at our general fund every year is what, $15 million. If we're making up $1.7 million out of that, that's huge. In addition, that doesn't even call into play the $600,000 we're paying back to JPIA, which we did last year. So we're making these huge strides in terms of the general fund. And given a couple of years, we're going to be back to fiscal health, I believe. That's my belief. If we continue on this particular trend that we have been showing the past 2 years since Armando Villa took over, we're going to be in good fiscal health in the next couple of years.
And Mr.
It is
Dale,
to be commended.
We're also paying back the loan from the sewer.
That is a $700,000 expense, and that's included in what I was saying, that making up the $1.3 million. So we paid $700,000 back, plus we added an additional $800,000 back to the general fund. So we're showing a fund balance, a small reserve that we're going to have, it's better than having a negative $4 million balance.
That is correct.
So essentially, that is your audit. That's the big picture. There were some findings, but we've addressed them as of this year, and those findings should be removed by the next audit, I'm hoping. Did you want to add anything to or did I miss anything? Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. City Manager. Any more inquiries or comments, council members, before we go to public? All right, any public comments, I'm sure?
Mr. Kim.
Mr. Kim, now it's your turn, sir.
I'm glad our council member, Mr. Pacheco, along with the council member, they showing how they're dumb, blind, liars, supporting the lie.
No personal attacks, Mr. Kim, please.
First rule of you guys, don't criticize the public and don't attack the public. And you guys broke the rules. Okay. 13, 14, when I was a council, I was fighting to get the right budget. What you guys have is a budget system. When I was mayor, I brought that on in the place. Before that time, our budget was all comic books, fake numbers. They were spending without knowing that when I take the mayor, when we change the city managers, we got all the things, books in the books, then we found the $4.1 million. Unfortunately, 3 council members, including Mr. Haji, you there, and supporting the bad administration, spending over $13 billion overspending, and you guys been done. I've been fighting for that. Now, Mr. Pacheco, that without knowing, I'm accusing I'm not doing anything. It's dumb, without knowing. So that's what I'm saying to you guys, when you're accusing something, when you make the decision on something, you got to know exactly what is real fact is.
I agree with that.
So because of what I was fighting, you guys have a right now system, at least you can see the number. Of course, there's a lot of numbers, they're not spending money right. For example, Grand Plaza, the 2018 years, we're spending in the book here, we're spending $500,000 spending money to the every year's Grand Plaza bond payment from the city sales tax paying. Not only that, and $261,000 more spending in this budget. This book said that contribution of the Grand Plaza $261,000. Why we have to pay the money Grand Plaza $261,000? Same time we closed down the 300 merchants in the small merchants. In local merchants.
30 seconds, Mr. Kim.
And now, I found that number at that time, year and a half ago, I was criticizing this council. You guys accusing wrongly to city employees 3 embezzlements, found nothing to guilty. You guys not doing your job.
Time is up, Mr. Kim.
Okay, I know you don't want to hear.
No, it's not that we don't want to hear. We have to keep to a certain amount of time, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kim. Any other public comments on this item?
No.
Okay, thank you. So this is item
19.
19.
Motion to approve.
Recommended the City Council receive and file City June 30th, 2018 audited financial statements. Motion to approve by Council Member Romero. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Council Member Risen. Okay, very good. Mr. Pacheco has stepped down, but we're going to move forward and vote on this. All right? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any opposition? Any noes? No? Okay, it passes. Moving on to item number 20. Subject, approval of consulting agreement with Totec, if I pronounce that right, LLC for planning services. A little backup on this one, gentlemen?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. So when the council did approve a reorganization of the planning and building departments, if you recall, it was November 14th, 2018. And when that was approved, a part of that reorganization was the approval of a planning/building director. The city advertised and is still advertising and has not yet received an qualified applicant for that job description. So in lieu of that, we were forced to look for consultants in terms of planning, because at this moment we have so many potential projects that are coming into the city that having a planner is not a luxury. It's a requirement. We have to have somebody in the planning department, and we've had a great person that's been helping the city, Mr. Chris Velasco. He represents the DOTEC LLC that is in the staff report. He's been working with the cannabis potential developers and on all developers that have come in. In fact, his workload is a little bit more than what he can do in the time allotted that we're giving to him, and I think he could attest to that. But we're very pleased with what he's been doing. There is a learning curve to any job that he's on, but he's on a fast track, and I feel like that the city is in a better place because he's been helping us.
Very good. Okay. Public comments?
Yes. Ben Horton?
Mr. Horton.
Members of the City Council, audience, when I saw number 20, because I had issues about the Planning Commission, I looked into it very much so. I was happy to see that Chris was part of the team that you're putting together to move forward with the planning, because I think it has to do with something with the law, and we should have a planner and the state mandated. And in dealing with Chris on the 26th, he was very instrumental in making things happen. And I wonder, why is he not on staff? But yet, I guess he likes being a consultant. But yet, I'm going to say he has done an excellent job. When I was working with him to do our lot adjustment, he made sure that everything was dotted and crossed. He made sure that and he would surprise me sometimes and said, "You need this." Okay, we'll get this. And then the Saturday before the 26th, I told Chris, he came in Saturday. He was working Saturday to put the paperwork in order. I said, I hope we don't have any hiccups on Monday, which we had a hiccup. But he was very much in tune to make things come together. And he tried, and I'm going to say he tried to explain it to the commissioners that didn't have any knowledge. And in a nice way, I'm going to say, I guess they were in la-la land, but yet he tried to explain it to them. And I hope that we should bring him on staff as a planner, but I guess he likes being a consultant more. But I just want to give him a hurrah for a job well done.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Horton, for your positive comments.
Mr. Kim?
Okay. Mr. Kim?
Looks like Mr. Hart is saying I'm so negative. Well, when I was council, everybody was accusing me I'm negative. Found we have a over $4 million budget shot and $13 million overspending. Because if I wasn't fight, probably wasn't more money. If I wasn't fight, probably we're gonna have a bankruptcies. And now, there's another one here. We're gonna hire the consultant again.
Mr. Kim, we are on item number 20.
Yes.
That's
So I'm
approving
talking.
a consulting agreement.
Yeah, I'm talking.
You're
and
going to get
cutting
to
up.
that. All right, thank you.
You
sir.
don't need a coach from Mr. Romero. You can speak
No,
it on
no, he
yourself.
brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
This one, we need to hire our staff to do our job correctly and right. If we have a consultant as employees, that employees or consultant need happy, 3 council members happy. So 3 council members happy, and they don't have to do their job right. In case of we have our own employees, it has to be done and follow all the rules and regulations they need to follow. They have to do it. Obligated, but consultant, they can be play around with the three council members. So they don't do nothing, they keep billing us.
Do you know of a qualified applicant, Mr. Kim? Because we've been looking for a year.
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Okay. Be nice to each other, or I'll stop both of you. Go ahead.
If we have to have it, someone better have not only one. Just like when you needed the engineers, we have a several company contract out. Timely basis, we give them the one. We took one of them to do the job. So in case of don't give any consultant privileges, can be play around. That's, I believe, the best of the protecting our interest for the citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Mr. Dale, we're shorthanded, tremendously shorthanded.
Correct.
And we don't have an individual to fill this position as a planning
If you look on our website under job opportunities, it's still there. And we have not received any applications.
And it will continue to be there, right?
It's kind of like we're having a hard time getting police officers. We're having a hard time getting qualified, all those positions which take qualifications. We're having a difficult time. And not just us, but across this county and across the state, and in fact, probably across the United States, finding qualified applications for these jobs is difficult. But I do agree. I mean, if we had, our best option would be to have a full-time planning and building director.
Okay. City Manager, clarification. We're going to go with this, but is this a temporary situation, or are we going to
This is a term.
later have a planning director?
The contract is a term, and it has a limited term, and has limited hours per week.
25 weeks.
And, if it comes to play that there is somebody that is qualified, we'll definitely talk to him.
Just clarification. Okay. Very
Mhm.
good. Thank you.
It's only
Anything else, sir?
It's listed $800.
Yeah.
$750.
All right. Any more public comments?
No, sir.
Okay. Someone would like to
Make
motion on
a
this
motion to approve the consulting agreement with Doltech.
All right, Councilman Pacheco made the motion. A second?
I second.
Second by Councilman Romero. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, there's no opposition. Very good. It passes unanimously. On to number 21. Approve and authorize the city manager to sign the enclosed lease agreement with SLSCO Ltd. A little background on this one?
Absolutely. We got approached by a company that is going to be doing some contractor work on 2 projects in the vicinity of the Grand Plaza outlets and the New River, so we can put perspective into the location that we were talking about. This property owned by the city has been leased before for similar uses, where some of these companies can keep their heavy machinery, any prefab work that they do it there.
I see.
It's at a close distance to their project areas. In this case, we're going to be charging a monthly, if the council approves this, we're going to be charging a monthly rent for the space that's competitive with the value of the land, and also pertaining to the term that they are being requesting to the city council.
Very good. Okay, so a little more money coming in under this condition.
Yes.
Okay. Any public comments?
No, sir.
No. All right, very good. Council, make a motion
Motion to approve agenda item 21.
by Councilman Romero. Second?
Second.
All right, Councilwoman Fernandez. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, very good. It passes. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are omitting for this time only agenda item number 22. So let's please go to item number 23.
We're omitting 23, jumping to 24.
No.
What about 22?
No, it was 22.
Oh, my God.
I thought it was 22.
I
Yeah,
apologize.
you're correct, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, thank you for changing.
Someone wants to leave.
Okay, and we're going now to 23.
We want to go home.
All right, approve, I like this one, approve the elements and implementation of the proposed City of Calexico Downtown Action Plan. Please, Mr. Figueroa.
It's a real disappointment on my end to not be able to display a presentation that we had because we had an issue with our projector. There's a presentation that I was letting the city clerk know that we will make sure to upload first thing tomorrow morning so everybody can look at it. The presentation includes the different elements that constitute the Downtown Action Plan. So what I'll do for the sake of not being able to show it, I'll share the 4 items that are key to this plan. Item number 1, the creation of a pedestrian plaza on Rockwood Avenue between 1st and 2nd. We've talked about it at length. As part of the presentation that I gave a month or 2 months ago, I included the $200,000 that we received from SCAG through their Sustainable Communities program, so we could do a demonstration project that can be self-sustainable in the future with some of the improvements that we're going to make to it. You just approved one of the biggest things that I've been talking to our police chief about, and that's not only the relocation of the taxis, but the taxi ordinance. We are heavily looking with this Downtown Action Plan to address the illegal public transportation services that are offered, that are hindering not only the pocket of the transportation companies in the city, but also the revenues that the city can perceive from such businesses. The police chief and I want to credit the Public Works Department, the Engineering Department, the Fire Department, the Police Department. They played a critical role in putting together the elements of this plan. We're looking to relocate the taxi cabs to First Street. One, because we want to give prime access to those coming in from Mexicali to have a first shot of being greeted and offered the service by our taxi companies.
It's easier for senior citizens also.
In addition to, yes, in addition to. So we're looking at utilizing First Street from Rockwood to Pollen. We are also looking to use a portion of First Street from Rockwood to Heffernan. In addition to that, as we all know, a rally's opened on First Street. One of the things that we want to change is that given that those businesses have a hard time receiving their goods that they sell, we want to make sure that we have a portion of that side of the street dedicated as a load and unload zone to make it easier for those businesses so they can get the goods that they need to offer their product. In addition to that, we are looking at installation of wall lights. We're looking at a new street bicycle station. We're looking at planters, at ornamental lights.
Beautification.
Going along the lines of identifying the issues with the aesthetics that we have and beautifying the first blocks of downtown. One of the things that was initially talked about in the City Council report by Councilman Risen is we're looking at installing gates so they can be serve as protection and hinder those that want to loiter. At the same time, we are looking into what Mr. Dell alluded to in one of his presentations, which was potentially a new service contract with Republic Services that will provide full-time attention to the public safety side in downtown. We've been receiving a lot of reports of incidents that have been occurring during nights. Our police department, given their limitations, are doing what they can with the resources that they have to provide the ample public safety that's required. What we're looking to do with this Downtown Action Plan is to make sure that all these elements that just I alluded to become a reality so we can begin to implement them like right away. We feel that this is really going to change what we've all been talking for way too long about getting back life to downtown.
Yes.
It's not the ultimate solution. We're not selling nobody a finished product, but it's certainly a big step in the right direction that has not been taken in quite some time.
Absolutely.
We secured monies from the state to address what we're proposing here. So with that said, I want to credit our engineering technician. He did some wonderful renderings that display what I shared with you, specifically pinpointing the areas that are going to be improved and worked on. Like I said, we will put it on our city website so anybody can access it and can have it. If you have any questions at this time, I'll be happy to.
Well, I'd like to make
Answer.
a comment. I commend you, Mr. Dale, all the staff, the department heads. This is very positive, and it's been a long time coming. So the people that know the history of Calexico and know about downtown, they should feel a sense of satisfaction that this is a very important and big step. And like you say, it's not a finished product, but it's actually happening finally, ladies and gentlemen, about downtown. I'm happy about the gates and the locks. I'll say it plainly, that should not minimize at least, and we have a new chemical that's going to go out there, minimize the stench. That's a big complaint among the public, and so I commend all of you for your hard work, and this pleases me very much.
I want to, and I commend you, Mr. Hodge, for your comments, because this is not only the effort of the people that sit up here. There are people right now sitting in the audience that have been part of it. There are people at home right now, possibly watching the meeting, that work for the city, that have also contributed to these efforts. We're just here and we just present things, but there's people behind us.
Yes.
On another note, one of the biggest things that I feel we have not taken advantage of is what the former council approved, which is the mixed use for downtown, which is a critical component to this action plan. We need to be creative with the resources that the state and the federal government offer. We need to bring affordable housing opportunities to downtown combined with commercial opportunities.
Right.
We can make it easier for developers that want to do affordable housing by taking advantage of what California is offering. CEQA exemptions if you commit to doing 15 years of affordable housing in a facility. There are things where we can, as a city, facilitate tax credit opportunities through the Department of Finance to entice developers to come in. So there is a lot of legwork behind this action plan. That's a holistic approach to address all the problems that we all are aware of.
Thank you very much. Yes, Council Member Rising.
I want to put on the record that First Street between Heffernan and Rockwood will be for taxis only on the north end. Okay, there is one van out there that's a tourist van. I would like them to be moved on the next block over and not interfere with any of the taxis, if that can be possible. Move them like in front of the Greyhound to pick up their tourist.
We got the police chief right there. You can make that call.
On the south end, it's going to be painted in front of the border, painted white for unloading and loading pedestrians, passengers. In front of, in front of rallies, we'll put the green ones, green 20-minute parking.
Yep.
And then next to that, the orange or the yellow for unloading freight, which is on the south end, to give the taxis the north end from Heffernan to Rockwood. I need that on the record, please.
Mr. Figueroa, where would the transportation to the outlets of their van, where would he be in this format?
That would not change. Right now, they are using the island that we have at the old port of entry building that's still there. So for now, the existing bus services will continue to work out of that island. But let's not forget that in the near future, and by near future I mean within the next 36 months, we're looking at having our transportation hub, our brand new transportation hub.
Right.
Or hub.
Yes.
And
also that the taxis to be parked parallel for safety
yes.
purposes.
Yes, exactly.
And I'd like to thank you, council, all of you, especially Councilman Risen, about the idea about Second Street, because it's working much better the way it is now. Two ways.
Very good.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Mr. Risen, we cannot display the visuals that reflected some of the elements that you brought forth right now, But I do want you to rest assured that those are not only noted, but included already, so they will be part of the plan.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the council?
Nope.
Any public comments? No. All right then.
Make a motion to accept and approve.
Thank you, Councilmember Pacheco, and second by Councilman Risen. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? There are none, no opposition. So it is approved, and that's a great step forward. Item number 24. Subject, introduce and conduct a first reading by title only of an ordinance of Chapter 5.76 of Title 5, in parentheses, and indicates business licenses and regulations of the Calexico Municipal Code regarding swamp meets. Please, staff report.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, thank you. This has been about 6 months in the process, and I appreciate your time on this. The staff report alludes to outdoor swap meets, but that is incorrect. The ordinance does not differentiate between outdoor and indoor swap meets. Just want to make that clear for the record. And essentially, what started this process from staff level was that we didn't have an ordinance that was clear enough and detailed enough for swap meets, and it was well outdated. It was 1972, something like that. So we asked our city attorney to draft us something for our swap meet ordinance, and we received it. We also brought it to the attorney for Las Palmas, and we brought it to, at the time, it was the Santo Tomas as well for their input, and we got some input from Las Palmas, and we incorporated those comments, and we now are asking for the city council to approve an ordinance that would give more teeth, more detail, more everything to the swap meets.
And like you say, the old ordinance was very, very old.
And
right?
vague.
And vague.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a lot specific and clear. Council members, any comments? Public first? No. Public comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Kim?
Mr. Kim. We would miss you, Mr. Kim, if you weren't here.
I believe Mr. Hachi apology to the community. He needs to have a apology for the community. He said he's going to have a town hall meeting, but
It's coming up, Mr. Kim, in October.
It's really not done. We're just bringing these issues in here, and again, I don't know what purpose to bring this regulation or ordinance to eliminating the swap meet out of from the business. It's really ridiculous. And I've been mentioning, I've been doing swap meet business in long years in different places. They have a swap meet to let leave the merchandise out there. I can come back tomorrow. But that time I was doing the electronics, so I couldn't leave it. But a lot of merchants, they leaving the merchandise and they're coming back. Even though I was at Santana, Harbors, and Costa Mesas, La Habra, lots of places have been there, and Paramount. So you guys creating problem to the swap meet vendors cannot be survived there. And the other one is, the one thing is where there is place said cannot sell altered or broken or stolen. If they find it, they're going to cancel the swap meet license. How swap meet owner going to know each individual brought broken ones, or altered ones. Even lots of people selling at the refurbished one. And without knowing they buy the stolen, several people I know they got arrested because they've been buying the things been stolen, they're selling. But Swami was running. And I don't know what kind of idea you guys have it, and keep saying we are working for the community. I don't see it. My strong recommendation: open the public meeting discuss with the people what they need to working inside the city needs of the regulated necessary for the safety for the community. This regulation, they want to ordinance to close down the Swamit, so they wanna looking for the big business coming in to take care of the over altogether Swamit, Las Palmas, Santo Tomas, over almost 1,000 vendors. They're going to be impacting it. It's ridiculous, this regulation you guys brought it. It's understandable they need to be controlled in certain level, yes, but
10
city
seconds, Mr. Kim, I'm
city
sorry.
didn't show any cares about the people who need it.
Please
They
wrap it up,
just
Mr.
will
Kim.
put in the regulation to do it, or not, we're gonna fire you. Just like one city employee is doing wrong,
Mr. Kim, your
we
time
cannot
is up, sir.
we cannot close the cities.
Okay.
Thank
Your time is up, sir. Thank you. Any more public comments? City clerk.
Brenda Martinez.
Very good.
Good evening. Hope you guys can hear me. To the ordinance, that was something, and I would like to thank everyone here. We were able to work with the ordinance as, actually I'm from Las Palmas. We were able to work with the ordinance, and I'm glad you guys addressed that the indoor swap meets and outdoor swap meets follow the same ordinance. With the ordinance being said, Mr. Kim, I know, thank you for all your help with the swap meet and whatever you're trying to say. But at this point, Las Palmas will be making and will be doing a lot of modifications to work with the city and with the ordinance so we could all be happy campers and apply from them. At this time, I like the ordinance the way it is. A lot of the stuff on the ordinance has been there for past many years. Even the ones that talk about stolen goods has been there for years. Unfortunately, throughout the years, the city and county have never really looked into the detail of it, which we have abided by all the guidelines and rules and regulations. We've done it for years. We have stacked of paperwork to be given to you guys forever. And at this point right now, I'm happy with the ordinance right now. And we're here to work with you in Calexico, and you guys can give us time to which will be doing a good remodel for the community and bring a lot more businesses to the community. And I hope everybody will enjoy it, hopefully the future, when Las Palmas will be remodeled.
And I think it's important that we give you the right amount of time.
Thank you.
All right, very good. More public comments?
Chief.
Couldn't
stay
slip in,
quiet.
Chief?
No, it just real quick, like on the ordinance when it comes to, so people will understand, when it comes to stolen goods, the altering of stolen goods, yes, I'm shorthanded right now, but once we get enough people, it's against the law to scratch off serial numbers off of anything that comes with a serial number. So if you have a camera, has a serial number, and it's scratched off, it is a crime. If you knowingly buy stolen goods, it is a crime. If you sell stolen goods knowingly, it is a crime. And remember that, knowingly is a key word here. We as police officers have to prove, that you knowingly know this is stolen stuff. So if somebody sells you 5 lights and there's no indication they're stolen, they have serial numbers and everything like that, and we go do a visit, and because of the serial numbers, we find out it's stolen. Number one, my instructions are going to be, my officer says, you recover the property, you try to find out who you bought the property, who they bought the property from, and it's going to stay there. But if we continue going to the same vendor and he continues week after week to have stolen goods, then we're gonna build a case on him and we're gonna prosecute him for possession of stolen properties. Not everybody has stolen property. Not everybody knows that they're buying stolen property. So it's something that we have to prove as a police department in order to present a case. So that's the reason why it's in the ordinance, because it gives us a little bit more teeth to go out there and remove items that we know are stolen. And like I said, the whole thing is this: if the vendor does not know they're stolen, he doesn't get in trouble. Most vendors in the past, I've been here for 30 years, have told us who they bought the stuff from. They didn't know it was stolen. We take the name and we go after the person that they stole. We do a search warrant, and guess, lo and behold, he's got a garage full of stolen property. The vendors know. So it's not the vendors, it's giving us, those are for vendors that repeatedly know and keep on buying stolen property. That's my understanding of the ordinance, and that's why I don't mind having that there. It makes our job easier. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any more comments? Public comments?
No, sir.
No. Okay, very good. Is there a motion to approve item number 24 regarding the swap meets?
Well, I'm glad we have an ordinance now. We've got in writing do's and don'ts. Who's going to be following up with checking on.
Okay, motion made by Councilman Pacheco, second by Councilman Risen. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? No, passes unanimously. Onward to item number 25.
Mr. Mayor, if you allow me to read the title of the ordinance to the record. It's an ordinance, City Council, City of Calexico, California, amending Chapter 5.76 of Title 5 of the Calexico Municipal Code regarding swap meets. Thank you.
Thank you, City Attorney. Subject, appointment of designated city representatives to the Abandoned Vehicle Abatement Joint Powers. It is the city manager's recommendation for the council to appoint Cuauhtemoc, help me out there, Chuck Cortez, interim building supervisor, as the primary representative, and Myra Soto as code enforcement officer as the alternate representative.
So move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No, it passes. Moving on to item number 26. Appointment by Mayor Hodge of an administrative hearing officer pursuant to the Municipal Code Section 1.27.090, hearing officer. Read this, and it is recommended that we stay with Iran Martinez. He has been trained, he has a BA, he's doing a great job. So I appoint Iran Martinez to continue in that position. Moving on to number 27. We don't vote on it, right? No, that's an appointment. Yeah. There is only one that I was told by city clerk that we vote for, and it's coming up. Appointment by Mayor Hodge to the Centinela State Prison Advisory Committee. Centinela State Prison has a Citizens Advisory Committee. One of the committee goals is to encourage community service projects, open houses, public education efforts, and any other appropriate activities aimed at the strengthening of the institution's partnership with the community. And historically, we have been on this advisory committee, and once again, I would like to appoint Chief, help me out here, Favila, please forgive me on the mispronunciation, Favila, as appointment to the committee. All right, do I have your support, council members? Very
Yes.
good. All right, moving on to number 28. appointment by Mayor Hodge of one primary representative and one alternate to the Imperial County Transportation Commission Board.
I have a speaker.
Excuse me?
I have a speaker.
We have a speaker on this one. Very good. Let me proceed.
Mr. Kim?
I believe Mayor Hatch's appointments, and you can see several years in the county, especially ICTC, what they're doing in Calexico. They're not serving the communities. They act like they're serving communities, they're not. A lot of seniors, they're in trouble to get a bus. And recently, what they have the recommendation of traffic control, the closing the Imperial Avenue to the closing to the border entries, and they have all the what they call the divider there, and they're having big trouble to the Cesar Chavez, all designed to go to people from Mexicali, cross the line straight to the county, not to the Calexico, bypassing the Calexico. All those designed bypassing. So we need to have someone to represent. If we want to send someone to the ICTC, someone who will be able to protect the city of Calexico. Right now, what I believe, city of Calexico under invasion by the county level. They need all, city of Calexico, major portion of the asset is people from Mexicali, across the border. County wants to share, bring them to it. So if you want to appoint someone, if you want to make someone appointed to do it, to choose someone to be able to protect the Calexico. Our merchants suffer, losing a lot of business. Downtown, you can see it very slow. Even Swami is very slow. Every place slow. Besides that, systemically, the ICT bus taking the customer away from Calexico easy from downtown to the county, and now the traffic plan, a lot of the benefit away from the Calexico, like underground water. Calexico losing our assets, our resource of the wealthy Calexico. If we don't keep ourselves, our interest, great Calexico is history. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Yes. That is former Mayor Pacheco, and he's doing a fine job. I've had a change of mind. I would like to continue to appoint Mr. Pacheco on that commission. It's a very important one. And he will be reporting to us on a periodic basis as to what is going on. We do need an alternate. Is there anyone that would like to come forward as an alternate? That just means that the day that Mr. Pacheco is sick or he's stuck in traffic or some emergency has happened, you would have to fill. All right, you want me to continue? All right, very good. We'll do that. So we will continue. So we appoint Councilman Pacheco as the primary representative and myself as the alternate to the Imperial County Transportation Commission, ICTC Board. All right, moving on. You're welcome. Number 29. This one I was told we vote on. Appointment of one primary representative and one alternate to the Imperial Valley Economic Development Corporation for the fiscal year of 2019-2020. At this present time, the current primary representative is former Mayor Pro Tem Escobar, and then the alternate was myself. I am very interested in serving this. It's a learning curve, but I promise you I'll do my very best. But if there's no strong objection, I would like to serve as a primary representative. But if there's anybody else who would like to throw their hat in the ring, please do so.
I would recommend
Okay.
Appreciate that.
As primary? Primary or alternate? Alternate, very good.
Yes.
Any objections for me being the primary?
No.
Okay. All right, very good. Someone please make a motion.
Motion to accept and appoint the mayor as the representative for the IVEDC, and the alternate would be Mr. David.
All right, very good. All those in favor? I second, excuse me, is there a second?
I second.
Second by Councilman Romero. Is there a, okay, let's take the vote, please. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? No? Okay, it passes. Now on to number 30. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, very good. Yes. Oh, pleasure to meet you. Okay, we only usually have a few, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for caring and being here. Okay, subject approval of the master calendar of city council meetings for fiscal year 2019-20. City clerk, is there anything you want to say about this? It's pretty transparent, self-evident. The only thing that I want to indicate is, if I'm correct on the date, I wrote it down on my calendar, the League of Cities is having the convention on October 8th, starting the 16th, 17th, and 18th. So I believe I was designated to go. I'd like to go, but I don't want to miss being here and not having a proper quorum.
That's myself as well.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe we could change it to the 23rd, if that would be acceptable.
probably
That-
the most ideal thing to do.
That would be an ideal thing, is just parroting
What month, October or September?
October. Is that correct? October?
The second meeting in October to the 23rd?
This year.
Push it back a
If
week?
that's acceptable to council. or-
That's acceptable for me.
It's October.
Is that fine? Okay. We vote on this?
Yes, we have a
Yes?
speaker.
Okay, very good. Do we have a public comment? Go right ahead, sir.
This is calendars, August next year. Whole month again. I understand that we only have one dark meeting, but you guys for the whole month still want to take vacations. And when I was city running, that's why assuming they might gonna have a break the Brown Act, because running the city without the city council, the proper agreements, is too long to be without the meeting. Or rubber stamping. City manager doesn't really matter. Get the approval from the city manager, a city council member, they just do it and just rectify by the council. I believe we need to keep at least one meeting in the August. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your comment, Mr. Kim. Any other public comments on this item? Yes, Chief? 3 minutes, sir.
Well, I disagree with that, Mr. Kim, because usually every other government agency entity that we deal with on a yearly basis, daily basis during the month of August, there's no business. And I'm pretty sure if something of emergency or urgency came through, the city council and the city manager would call for a special meeting. A lot of people in our city, it slows down. It slows down for us. So that's the time that we can catch up doing a lot of the work that we have to do. That's why we have 31 items, because they were able to catch up and do a lot of studies and a lot of things that we need to do. I was able to catch up and get a lot of my stuff that I'm going to put on the next city council because of not having to be here so late at night at city council meetings. So I, for one, as a department head, don't mind having that break, like I said, but it's a break for us to catch up on our work and get work done. That's just my...
Thank
So
you.
it's not a break, Chief, it's more like a refocus?
Yes, it's not a break.
And Mr. Dale, if you find that you have something that's pertinent and that needs to be done, that we need to have Mr. Campos here, I'm sure you'll have
Absolutely. We can call a special meeting if necessary. We would try not to do that, but if there was something pressing, we could absolutely do that. And the chief's right. This is not the only city that would be taking August as dark. All the other cities, and as I understand it, I could be wrong, but I think all the other cities do the same thing.
We're just coinciding with usually the majority of the public because
Yeah.
they take vacations and it is slow.
Or if the mayor at the time wishes to call a meeting, we'll
Well,
call a meeting.
I continued to have the one-on-one meetings.
Yeah.
That was fine. Okay. Remember, council members, that I believe we're moving October 18th or 16th?
16th.
16th
To
to
the 23rd.
23rd. All right, is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor.
Is there anything else?
Yes, I was looking at January 2020, and I see that we're only going to have one meeting. I don't know if maybe City Clerk can answer this. Is there any way maybe we can have a meeting on the 8th, or it won't have enough time for agenda, or?
That's the reason, because all staff is out, and by the time you come back, there's not enough time to
Okay,
get everything
I
ready.
assume, but I wanted to ask.
It's just that the first falls on the holiday.
Oh.
The first meeting falls on January 1st.
I still insist.
Okay. All right, very good. Any more comments or concerns?
No.
All right, is there a motion then?
Motion to approve, agenda item 30.
All right, second? Second by Councilwoman Fernandez. All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? No opposition, approved. Number 31. The last one.
I'm sorry. Do we have to make a motion to continue the meeting after 9 p.m.? No, we don't. Okay, just ask. Okay. Oh, it's 10?
Okay. Subject matter here, appointment by City Council of a General Commissioner to the Calexico Housing Authority Board. Daniel Santillan. Thank you very much. Practicing my Spanish. Yes.
And since he's the only applicant,
He is the only applicant. So is there a motion?
Motion to approve. Daniel
Let's go with
Santilla?
Risen first, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Romero. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, it is approved. Anybody against it? No, it's approved. Any future agenda items, ladies and gentlemen? We can begin with Councilwoman Fernandez. Any future agenda items?
No, not right
All
now
right,
at this time.
Councilman Romero.
Not at the moment. I just want to let everybody know that on September 13th, September 13th, right?
Very good, thank you.
Morris?
Yes.
We're going to have the Grito Independencia. It's going to be held at Calexico downtown on 2nd Street. So you're all cordially invited. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to go from 6 to 10 p.m. So we look forward to seeing you all there. And also on October 5th, City of Calexico, alongside local businesses, will be hosting Oktoberfest. It'll be the second year that it'll happen, and hopefully we keep it on an annual basis. So you're all invited there as well. Pretty much it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
I'd like to piggyback on that. The events that are taking place, and those are two important events. I don't know about El Grito, but the census, I'm on the census committee, and you will be seeing people with T-shirts that say Census 2020. And it's very important that you receive the educational literature and be prepared to fill out that survey. I have no future agenda items. Over to my left, Councilman Risen. All right, sir. Councilman Pacheco.
nope, just waiting for all these good things to come about in fruition and to come about, you know. Again, you guys are doing a lot of heavy lifting. Thanks for all the hard work, not only you guys, but staff. It's just a good feeling to know that everybody's working hard at the city.
And we're together. It is 9:15. I'm surprised we're leaving at this time. Happy after 31 items. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so be it. This meeting is adjourned.